All right, there we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hello,
Canadian
everyone.
Spider-Man. And I thought this thing was live.
I
You
didn't know where the
muppet.
live button was.
Yeah,
See,
good.
well, I said my
Yes.
best jokes and no one heard them but you. But at least you
Yep.
heard.
Just me. That's right.
And the
He's a
boy.
free to the wind, folks. He hasn't got a clue what's going on. He doesn't even know if he's on air or not. Are we live now,
Oh,
Spidey? Is this
it's been a
live?
while. I
Thanks,
don't
son.
do these often, It's
Clearly.
it's. No, I'm
Well, it's like
fairly
taking off a
sober.
lady's
I'm
bra. It's
like a
just what
4 out of 10
you're
for
meant to
soberness,
remember.
sobriety.
Don't forget. How long's it been since the last time?
It's been weeks since I've went. Well, two anyway.
No, since he took a bra off. Oh, hang on, my son's here.
Oh,
He's talking to his mates. Hang on mute.
like one. It's been a while. It's been a while. I mean, I don't really like wearing them anymore, to be honest. Right. Okay, then. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Captain Cockney Spock.
Hello.
Sent out invitations, and he was the first one to respond. So thank you, Captain Cockney Spock. Now I'm not in front of a bonfire. I'm beside the wood stove, and
Oh,
it's sort of
thank
the same thing.
goodness.
No,
All right,
I'm indoors.
cancel the mounting, Karen. All
Yeah,
right, we're
no, no.
good.
I'm indoor. No, you're calling the fire frickin' department.
Yeah,
The
not the
fire brigade.
mounties, not the cops. Don't call
Fire
the cops.
brigade.
Don't
Fire
call the
brigade.
feds, folks.
Fire brigade.
In fact, let's raise our game. Forget it. In fact, next time Spidey goes missing, don't call the feds. Don't call the cops. Don't call the mounties. Don't call the fire brigade. Just call the nearest strip club.
No, I don't see. No, you'll never find
Raise
me
the
in a
game.
strip
Just
club,
send out
Captain.
strippers.
No, I don't. I don't want women to think that they should charge money for that sort of thing, and we
Sexist. What
should
if they're
stop
male?
giving. We should stop giving them that idea. Stop paying strippers, ladies and gentlemen,
I
mostly
didn't say anything
gentlemen.
about pay them.
Like,
Send them
what
out for
happened to you?
free. The
Show me
reward
yours,
is
and I'll
finding
show you
you,
mine.
Spidey.
Like, why are we paying them? No, they
We're not.
like no, but strip clubs you are. I have a
Well, then
problem
don't
with
go to
strip
them.
clubs. I don't. I don't want them to
Good.
think that theirs is worth more than mine. If fuck, anyway. We don't
No,
want to
exactly. I'll
encourage
do it.
them
If there's any
to think
stripping around here to
that
be
they
done,
can
I'll do it. Thank
charge for
you.
that sort of thing. Dalek is here. Dalek, I sent you a link.
Dalek
Check your
thinks that I don't know
Twitter.
what triumvirate means. I mean, really, Dalek, I'm very
Dalek in the chat
disappointed.
says, "Yes, you are live, Spotty."
Yes, we know that now. Thank you. Yes.
It
Do you
was
know
a
Dalek came on my
there
show
was
to
an
point
issue,
out that 5
Dalek.
people don't go into a triumvirate. And I
There
had
was
to
an
really
issue.
bite my tongue, Spidey, to not say, "Oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that."
One of us thought we were live for a period of time before we were live, and it was entertaining for some and many of us, some and none of us. Anywho, we are live now. That's all that matters. And there's been a lot of events lately that have me
I'll
have
say.
me well, and I think we need to bring back our heroes like Benjamin Sisko, Captain Kirk.
Have you been listening to that song by the Stranglers? Oh, whatever happened to Han Solo? He got a
I'm not
death stick up
familiar with
his
that song.
bottom. No more heroes anymore. Whatever happened to the heroes? The Ben Kenobis.
Right?
No more heroes anymore.
Well, I think we need to bring them back. We need to find some, or at least
We need to
celebrate the
we
ones
need to become
that
them.
still exist, or
There's
become
none
them,
left. We need to become the hero,
or
Spidey.
become
There's no one
them.
left.
Exactly. Well, I don't.
Send me
Spider-Man's still left. He's so
exactly.
far untarnished.
And Polish Captain Britain's right here.
Although, right?
Right.
Uh, Now, Hollywood Spider-Man is more of Spider-Boy, but he's got
He's
potential.
Iron Boy. Exactly. Forget Hollywood
Well, he
Spider-Man.
is kind of Iron Boy.
Tom
Yeah, you're
Holland's
not
the
wrong.
most annoying one. They should have stuck with Garfield, but he doesn't like Mondays.
Ooh, you prefer Garfield over Holland?
Dude, who doesn't? It's not even close. That's like the best one compared to the worst one. It's not even close.
Garfield was too cool for school.
Yeah,
That's not
Garfield's a cool cat.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Now that
Holland's
I've
not cool
actually
enough.
read some Spider-Man comic
Holland's a
books,
muppet.
I have a new
Oi, ain't talking
appreciation.
to you. What, do you like Holland, do you? You've not even seen Holland. You know nothing of Holland. You stick to
I do.
Garfield.
Isn't that city in the Netherlands?
Now, Holland's one of the Netherlands. And yet it's synonymous with the Netherlands, but technically, pedantically, Holland was one of the Netherlands.
Indeed. I do prefer Holland over Garfield. Garfield was too tall for one thing.
Wow.
Spider-Man's not a tall hero.
Don't really discuss opinions. It's like Scotty with his top 10 list of top favourite James Bond films. I mean, frankly, who gives a fuck? It's just opinions, man. I like talking plot points. Sorry, it's your show. Keep forgetting. I just always fuss about opinion. I like this film. I love it. Who cares? I don't care. I mean,
No,
I like
point-
music. I like music even more than movies.
Point
Did
is,
you hear me talking about music? No, you know why? Because it's opinion. Oh, would you like
okay,
Oasis
so
or Blur? You know,
would
I don't
you
give a
still
fuck.
consider?
I don't care.
I don't think we'd disagree that Sisko is a good role model for males. I think you and I would both agree on that, Captain.
I've no clue. I've never watched DS9. I ain't got a fucking clue.
That surprises me. Wow. Okay.
Well, welcome.
Didn't
There you
expect
go.
that.
Well, there you go. Kel surprise.
Some people would say that's one of their favorite Star Treks,
I don't give
myself
a fuck.
included.
Yeah, I think so. I don't care.
All right,
They don't
okay,
go
all
anywhere,
right.
Spotty. I mean, Spidey.
Hey,
Whatever.
I'm
All you
taking.
Canadians look the same. They don't go anywhere. There's no trekking, is there? It's not Star Trek. It's Star
But
Stay Still.
well, but I mean, time and space are relative, and everyone comes to
They
them.
don't go anywhere.
They don't need to go anywhere because everyone comes
Well, they
to
do if
them.
they want me to watch them.
Apparently. Right. Okay, then. All right. So,
Well, where's Dalek?
no, okay, then we can agree that Captain Kirk, at least, is a good role model for males, right?
Well, I don't know. He cheated at the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, but to win, he just did it to
cheated.
win. It worked out in the end.
I don't like a no-lose scenario. How would you deal with the Kobayashi Maru?
And you know what? If he would, well, I would have.
What do you think about City on the Edge of Forever, Spidey?
Oh, it's going to be there for a while.
Oh, you're funny. No, really, I'm asking you. Have you ever watched Star Trek?
I have.
Are you aware of the episode, the classic episode, City on the Edge of Forever?
I'm not good at matching titles to shows, but yes, I've seen both. I'm familiar with the title, and I've seen the show.
Why don't you put on camera and suck on a bong?
Well, no, the camera's not even hooked up yet. I've got the bong's here. The camera's not, but the bong at least is nearby.
Get it down, yeah.
City on the Edge of Forever.
Yes,
I know the title. I know that I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Refresh my memory.
No.
Well, there you go then.
Dalek will do it. Ask Dalek. Something. You know Joan Collins?
I do know Joan Collins.
Joan
Collins? Of course. Right. She's blonde. And she was...
for fuck's sake.
Well, she was.
She was never... What the fuck are you... Oh, my... I can't work. Get up here, Dalek. She's like one of the most famous brunettes ever. She was never blonde. You find me a picture of Joan Collins being blonde. You're being blonde.
Maybe. She had a big jaw.
3/4 of a bottle of whiskey, you say?
Indeed.
What is it with you and Canadians and bloody alcohol?
No, I remember Joan Collins. She had that fitness video. Her and Jane Fonda.
That's Jane Fonda.
No, they had a dual fitness video together.
Really?
They did.
Well, how's that relevant to time travel?
It's not.
No,
We're not talking about time travel. That's your
I think we are.
No, we're talking about male role models. And since we can't talk about Sisko, let's talk about Bruce Willis, Harrison Ford, and Spider-Man. The three posters that I'm staring at right now. I'm staring at. I'll tell you what. I don't know if boys today have this, but I've got this in my room. I'm staring at them right now. There's the man from Snowy River. He's on the horse. I'm looking at him right now. The All Australian Saddle Company is sponsoring the poster. And then we've got Spider-Man. We've got Indiana Jones. We've got Bruce Willis. And we've got Eric fucking Clapton. Bruce Springsteen's there too, but he's more of a liberal pansy these days. Anywho, I'm just saying, we're losing male role models fucking left, right, and center.
And, we sure are.
We need more Captain Kirks.
We sure do.
Scott Bakula's, or Captain Archer, if you will. You must have seen a bit of Enterprise. One episode of Enterprise at least. No, yeah. I like Captain Archer. He was a good captain.
I think you're aiming a bit high, Scott. I keep calling you Scotty. Spidey, Scotty, whatever,
Canadian.
the Canadian
we
guy.
Both do wear glasses from time to time.
You're both Canadian and you're both perpetually drunk.
I don't know if perpetual. Well, not when I'm working.
Well, I've never seen you sober, put it that way.
Well, you've never seen me off work. Or at work. Well, you've only seen me off work. There you go.
One of the two.
One of the three. And, Spock, Bones, Southern Gentile, he would definitely be a role model for boys today. If we had some strong role models.
Some strong role models.
Strong role models. Maybe we wouldn't have the trouble we've got today. We've got a hell of a lot of single moms who, well, they're not single moms if they're getting support from the dads. Let's put that right clear. If you're getting support,
casting your net a bit wide. I don't think you need to look any further than YouTube to find behavior that needs to be corrected.
Right. And so these guys, they need these people growing up, these males growing up, they need some role models. And Indiana Jones, Bruce Willis, Spider-Man, they're all good role models. Man from
Hang on, Bruce Willis is an actor, Indiana Jones is a character.
Says you. I don't know. Bruce Willis is almost a character these days.
No, generally, I like the characters, but the actors are generally fucking disappointments and dickheads.
Yeah, fair enough.
From Willis to Ford, I like their movies, but I wouldn't go down the pub with the actor.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay, let's not call him Bruce Willis. Let's just call him Roy.
Or whatever. Clay McCoy, McLeod, or whatever his fucking name is, isn't it?
That's the one. I would say even Bones was a good example of a role model. But you know who might be the most important male in all of Starfleet, and you might argue with this. I'm going to say Chief Miles O'Brien is the most important human in all of Starfleet
because of the perm.
Because of his ability, because of his accomplishments, because of what he's done. Primarily against the Borg. He's got a wicked haircut, a wicked hairdo, doesn't he? I like Miles O'Brien. Always have. First of all, I like his name. I'm part Irish myself, so I like Miles O'Brien. Just the name itself. But I like the guy. I mean, he's friends with Picard. He's friends with Worf. He's friends with Benjamin Sisko. He's just a friendly guy, but you wouldn't want to push him too far. you wouldn't want to push him too far, would?
He's like me, exactly.
Right?
I'm a nice
Dalek,
guy,
what do
but
you
you
think?
push me, and I will go
Dalek?
nuclear.
What do
look,
you
now
think?
it's a triumvirate. All right, Dalek.
Is Miles O'Brien?
You're never gonna let you're never gonna let that go now, are you, Captain?
Never let it. You only brought it up today. Give me a chance to never let it go.
Right, Dalek, what's your opinion? I just while you were jumping on board here, I just stated that Miles O'Brien was the most important male in Starfleet history
because of his film.
Miles O'Brien, are you kidding me?
Are you laugh? You choke back that laugh.
He laughs derisively.
You take a second thought about that before you laugh, right, sir.
How the hell is Miles O'Brien important?
Oh my god,
he was there.
Instrumental in the defeat of the Borg and I don't know how many occasions. And when Scotty would say, you know, I can't get her to run, Miles O'Brien would find a way to fucking make it happen. No, he saved their ass time after time after. Miles O'Brien is the most, without the Enterprise doing some of the feats that it accomplished, history would be different. And Miles O'Brien, in my opinion, was instrumental in the Enterprise achieving success. Therefore, Miles O'Brien is the most important male in all of Starfleet history, in my opinion.
Well, he got mail in the mailroom. He had a panel full of instruments. I don't know what else he was instrumental. He was instrumental in well, I mean, he ran the suicide booth on the Enterprise, didn't he?
Exactly.
He basically killed people, and they rearranged their molecules.
He transported warp cores into things that explode. No, he did a lot of things. I mean, don't ask me.
He ran the glorified suicide booth on the Enterprise.
But there was never a problem that he couldn't eventually figure out. I mean, he rivaled Geordi.
By killing people.
Actually, I think he would outpace Geordi in his engineering expertise and adaptability. I mean, you put him, he was in foreign worlds on different, you know, captured in different situations, however you pronounce that word. And he would find his way out using his engineering abilities. No, Miles O'Brien is underrated, and I think he just might be the most important male in all of Starfleet history and a role model for males today. I mean, learn to fix things, kids. Learn to fucking pick up a wrench. Learn what a Phillips screw. Although don't use Phillips screws, they suck.
Miles O'Brien was
flathead.
Miles O'Brien was basically the everyman of the Enterprise. He could fix anything.
Yes,
that's not what an everyman is. That's a handyman. An everyman is someone that could be anybody. I think you're conflating. I think you're using the terms handyman and everyman synonymously. Look at you, Dalek 451, Amber
Let's
Heard.
split some hairs.
You know what I meant.
It's not a hair split. Of course I knew what you meant. Well, when I say Martin McFly falls out of a tree, you know very well what I mean. And yet you keep insisting that I'm using the wrong words. Now I'm doing it to you. I'm just saying a handyman is not the same as an everyman. Use the right fucking word.
No, there is a difference.
Isn't this why people say that you bully
white people? What do white people have
That's
to do
not
with
bullying. So just give us your lunch money and shut up, fatty.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
Now we started trouble. No, but a handyman, see, that's exactly just it. He's been handy in so many situations that I think he's possibly the most important male in all of
right, in the 7 seasons or whatever events. He's been at. How many times has O'Brien, Spidey, serious question, he's been around for how many seasons of TNG do we have O'Brien? All of them, all 9 of them, right?
7.
Well, not
whatever.
7.
7 of 9.
He was mostly absent for season 6 and 7, but yeah.
Thank you. But in the 4, 6, right now he's down to 3, whatever. In his entire time on the Enterprise, how many times did Miles O'Brien get laid.
Well, Captain, the guy's married. You know that, right?
I said none at all. Then
so that'd be none.
0.
Oh, they had a baby. So once.
Clear.
Dalek,
Once,
you do understand how marriage works, don't you?
Of course I fucking
There's
know.
no sex involved with marriage. That's why we're not married.
Bingo. To each other.
No, but he did have a baby.
Well, he must have done it with Kate.
Once.
He must have done it with Keiko before they got married.
Oh, probably before they got married all the time, pal.
You'd hope. Oh, yeah, but once you get the ring, it's over.
That's it. It's over.
Yeah, don't do that. Once you move in, really. I think it starts when you move in almost, Captain.
No. It's after marriage.
Well, after the first couple of years.
Technically, he had
moving without getting married. Caroline was anything go by.
He had 2 kids with Keiko.
Right, so they had sex twice.
Did he?
Yeah.
Were they twins?
No.
So twice then
they had a younger brother. You're right.
He had his little. Well, he had his little girl. Molly.
Right. That's right.
He had her
Molly.
first.
And she had a younger brother.
Yeah, he had a little boy.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So at least
twice.
All right.
Well, thank you for answering my question.
And what does that have to do with the price of soybeans in Japan?
If you're talking about male heroes in fiction, then if they don't get laid, I'm not interested.
So we're talking about Captain Kirk.
Yep, guaranteed. He was getting it out left, right, and center, wasn't he? Kirk.
Yeah.
Captain, what is this Earth thing they call
Dr.
kissing?
McCoy must have had some really good creams and salves available, is all I'm saying.
What? He probably had all kinds of crazy drugs in his cabinet, didn't he? I bet him and the nurse, I bet they're having a few wild parties on a Friday night.
Oh, what, with the nitrous or the laughing gas? Is that
exactly?
Nitrous? Is that the same stuff?
Uppers,
is the laughing gas the same stuff?
Laughers, that you cocaine, heroin, they got everything in
your car
there.
To make it go faster. It's not the same thing, is it?
I thought it was. I thought laughing gas was nitrous oxide.
Right, and that makes your car go faster. That's what they use in Fast and Furious, and then they all laugh about it. And talk about family. Am I wrong on? I might be wrong. I could be wrong on the details. I'm fuzzy on the details.
You're fuzzy on everything. You're just fuzzy.
Well, that's not a bad thing. Let's.
Unless you're trying to remember facts on the pop culture show.
Don't trouble me with facts.
Get yourself standard YouTuber.
I kind of get what you're saying about Miles O'Brien. He's
saved the day on many occasions.
He's a guy
by virtue of his being able to fix things or make
he's a guy work. He's a guy who can pretty much do any job, basically.
Right. Whereas Captain Jean-Luc Picard, all he has to do is give the orders. Oh, he's the hero, but he doesn't fucking make it happen, does he? I mean, once in a while in an away mission, he's out and he's got the phaser in his hand and he's making shit happen. But mostly he's just up there giving orders, and it's fucking Miles O'Brien and Worf that are making shit happen, really.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair argument. Yeah, most of the time Picard is just on the bridge giving orders. You're right.
And or in Deep Space Nine, and see, this is why Captain, I don't know if I'm gonna have an easy time convincing him, Dalek. But have you seen Deep Space Nine episodes?
I'm fucking right here, bitch.
I have watched all of Deep Space Nine, but nowhere near as many times as the Next Generation, because I only watched. It was only in recent years that I actually finally did watch all of Deep Space Nine. I've watched all of it once.
Okay, probably the same.
Well, a couple of episodes. I've seen more than once, but that was mainly because I was interested in something that was in those episodes, because I wasn't really interested. For a long time, I wasn't really interested in
because they
Deep Space
don't
Nine.
go anywhere, as Captain would say.
Well, that's not entirely true, but it is mostly true.
However, would you agree that if maybe Captain had watched Deep Space Nine, he might have a more favorable opinion of Miles O'Brien by virtue of the fact that Miles O'Brien really shone in that series. I mean, he really in the fight against the Dominion and the Gamma quadrant. Miles O'Brien was a hero in a lot of those encounters. I mean, he, especially aboard the Defiant. I mean, fuck, him and Worf kicked ass.
I'm sure they did. Yeah. Well, but the thing is with Deep Space Nine is Miles O'Brien got fucked. He got screwed over a lot before he had his moments to shine.
The first couple seasons, you mean?
Yeah,
with him. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, seriously, let's see.
But I'm glad how it ended.
The first couple of seasons, any episode centered on O'Brien, it was just him. It's just him being tortured for a whole episode.
Didn't do him justice. Yeah, but he did come into his own after the halfway through. Anyway, at least the last 4 seasons, he played pivotal roles and he was given the respect. But you're right, I'd forgotten about that. But the first few seasons, he wasn't given the respect due. Maybe is what you'd say to someone that had served on the Enterprise and had.
You could make that argument, yeah.
I can make a lot of arguments. You just wait. So many of them make no sense. But would you? I don't know. Would you say that Deep Space Nine enhanced Miles O'Brien's reputation as a Starfleet legend?
Well, he definitely had his moments in the Next Generation, but he did get a lot more of them in Deep Space Nine.
I thought so.
I mean, there was this whole. I mean, even in the very first episode, there was this whole of Deep Space Nine. There was this whole scene of of him about to leave the Enterprise for the last time.
Good, Spidey. Good.
And
I remember that. Yep. He was very dramatic.
Because essentially the first episode. Because essentially the first episode was a crossover with TNG, because the Enterprise was in it, Picard was in it, and then I guess it kind of transitions from between a kind of TNG episode to a Deep Space Nine episode. If you can think of it like that.
Yep, I did. When I first watched it, I did think of it like that.
Because it's like because obviously the whole thing with. I mean, Picard was there to oversee Sisko's statement at Deep Space Nine.
Boy, they did not like each other at first.
Well, Sisko hated Picard, but I don't know how Picard felt about Sisko.
Well, he probably felt guilty about killing his wife. Although, I mean, even as a Borg, you'd have to feel a little bit guilty, wouldn't you? If you were a Borg captain and you killed somebody, would you still feel guilty even though you were under Borg control and it was totally not your fault?
Even if I wasn't under control of the Borg, I wouldn't feel bad about killing someone. Depends who it is.
What the fuck?
You heard?
He's just kidding. He's just joshing, folks.
Yeah, sure I am. Some motherfucker's got to die. What are you going to do?
Oh, I peed myself a little bit there. Yeah. Alrighty then. Yeah. No. Well, there you have it, folks. Now, I think we can all agree that Will Wheaton is not a good
cool whip.
Will Wheaton.
Shut up, Wesley.
Whoa, Captain, have you been watching Viva Frey?
No,
Viva
what's
Frey.
that?
Oh, he says cool whip as well.
Cool
He's a Montreal reporter that was in the heart of the Canadian trucker protest, the Canadian Freedom Trucker protest. Trudeau does not like it because he was on the ground.
Stop calling him Trudeau. He's Castro Jr.
He is Castro Jr. Well, Viva Frey is a Canadian lawyer turned YouTuber who's got, I don't know, like 200,000 or 300,000 followers now. But he was on the ground for
stand up like
dozens of hours during the protest, showing live footage of the peaceful, wonderful party that the whole protest was. Anywho, and he often says cool whip like you just did. So I thought maybe as a political follower of Canadian politics, I thought maybe you knew Viva Frey.
You were totally wrong. I was thinking of Stewie from.
Oh, right. Cool. Maybe that's where Viva Frey gets it from.
Maybe.
He also follows Family Guy, right? There you go. But
well, that's the only place I know that whip thing from. Family Guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you should follow this Montreal lawyer turned YouTuber. He's a hell of a guy. He's a patriot. And he enjoys trucks and
I
freedom.
want to see Stewie going after Amber Heard. Where's my money? You got money for fake mustaches? I want Stewie in an ACLU t-shirt. Where's my money?
Exactly.
Don't make a fool of me, Amber. Where's my fucking money?
Oh, they should do that. They should.
$3.5 million.
That would be.
Where's my money?
Hilarious.
I'll give you pledge and donates anonymously, you redhead bitch.
Someone should do that with. Someone should do that with that scene with Amber's face.
Right, exactly. Get Kip Ellis on the phone. I want that scene done. I want to see
Fet for Hire.
Stewie
Fet for Hire can do that.
Hospital.
We should ask Fet for Hire to do that.
Fet for Hire is a great talent.
Get Brian
Fet for
to
Hire?
Amber. Where's my money?
Exactly. Where's the charity money, Amber? Where's the charity money, Amber?
Buenos dias. Good day, sir.
I can't thank Fed enough for this.
Yep.
You got money for fake red hair, Amber. Where's my money?
You might do it for us.
That's brilliant.
Thomas the Tank with a Dalek attached.
Thomas the Tank Dalek.
Have you not seen this, Spidey?
Dalek the Tank.
I've not. But you know what I have seen?
Well, guess who did this for me?
Fet for Hire?
Fet for Hire. He made this for me.
Beautiful.
Where is the Fat Controller? The Fat Controller. The Fat Controller.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that Dalek, but you know what I have seen? I have seen a Captain Cockney Spock recent broadcast where you were saying there's no such thing. When asked about if there was a female Dalek, you laughed. Are there no Daleks that identify as female? Really?
There's no such thing as a female Dalek.
That's what you said before. You're gonna get canceled.
They're not even binary. They're mono.
Oh, you can't say that. Some of the you haven't asked them. They might
There's
identify as other. You're both canceled.
I'm transitioning from a Dalek to another Dalek.
Oh my god.
Well, how do they multiply? There's a lot of the bastards.
That's true.
How do Daleks multiply?
Oh, have I got to explain all of this again?
There's no female Daleks.
When a mummy Dalek and a daddy Dalek love each other very much.
Exactly. Very much.
There's no such thing as a mummy Dalek and a daddy Dalek, for crying out loud.
Then there's no such thing as baby Daleks, then, is there?
But there's
well, there's immature Daleks.
Not in the traditional sense, no. Because Daleks they are grown in laboratories. The Dalek mutants. Because
like McDonald's
I've said this before. Daleks don't reproduce; they mass produce.
Oh, I wonder what you were going to say then.
You thought he was going to say masturbate, didn't you?
Don't say it.
Oh, you thought it was.
I thought he was going to say.
Oh, come on. Same thing with the.
It's official. Daleks masturbate.
Oh, God. I was wondered about that plunger.
That's not a plunger. And where does that go?
Oh my God! What the fuck?
Is that a plunger on your head? Are you just pleased to see me, Dalek?
Does that plunger have a reverse mode?
Maybe they got monitors on the inside of those helmets. They're just watching Dalek porn.
Oh dear God!
Oh God!
That's why they look like plumbers, because that's what they dress as in the videos. I hear you ordered a plumber,
And just when you thought all angles of Daleks had been discussed, here we go.
There's got to be a Dalek Rule 56.
As long as it's not an Order 66, I guess.
Well, that's kind of what Rule 56 is, isn't it? Is it Rule 56?
Oh, I haven't seen any Doctor Who. Don't spoil it for me.
You haven't seen any Doctor Who?
Never watched Doctor Who at all.
Hear me out. I'm watching Red Dwarf first because I haven't seen any of that. I'm on season 8, and as Susan I finish season 8, I'm gonna hop right over to the something of the Daleks.
That, sir, is a
reincarnation of the Daleks.
That's a lot of. Most Dalek stories start with something called something of the Daleks.
No, but it's the big one. It's the really big one. It's the
really big one.
It's the one that you should watch first before you watch any other Doctor Who.
Is it the first? Is it? Hang on. Is it the one where we first? Is it the one where we first see Davros?
I don't know. Which would you recommend someone like me who's never seen Doctor Who, after season 8 of Red Dwarf, I'm about to start watching?
If you're talking about what I definitely consider most Doctor Who,
where should I watch first?
Not just the best Dalek story, but the best Doctor Who story ever of all time.
Well, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking where should I start? But okay, we can answer that.
Right.
Let's answer both questions. Sure, we got lots of time. Go ahead. Looks like I'm not sleeping anyway, so fuck it.
Well, look, the very first Dalek story was actually the second story of Doctor Who ever. It was the Daleks were the first ever Doctor Who monster.
Right. Okay. Do you mean there's more than just the Daleks? Oh shit! I didn't know that.
There's low.
I haven't seen any Doctor Who.
All this time, Spidey. There's.
Yeah.
Do you know how many aliens and monsters there are in Doctor Who?
I thought they were all friendly except for the Daleks. Everyone was against the Daleks.
For crying out loud! There's the Daleks. There's
the Cybermen are just coming around for a cup of tea. The fucking Zontarans, they just want to borrow a cup of sugar, don't they?
There's the Daleks. There's the Daleks. The Cybermen. The Sontarans.
The Weeping Angels.
They sound all friendly.
Having a little cry.
They all sound friendly.
Well, we're sure not putting you on guard duty, Spidey.
So wait, the story you're thinking of, did it start with an R? You said something of the Daleks.
Oh, could have been.
You said saying the big one. Which big one?
Well, the obvious one that people who would want to start watching Doctor Who would start with this one.
Romana?
Not the regeneration of the Daleks, but the
It is is it a classic era story?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right. Well, there's a few. Well, there's been plenty of those.
Was the first Doctor any good?
Oh, William Hartnell? Yeah, he was great. Actually,
sorry.
If you want,
so you'd want to start there, wouldn't you?
If you want to see, if you want to see the the original Dalek story, then it's the second story, simply called the Daleks, and it starts with the first episode the first episode called Planet of the Dead.
I have that on physical media, folks.
Planet of the Dead, or the Dead Planet, something like that.
No, I've got that on physical media.
Oh, you've got that.
I do. I have the first 10 seasons. I've got the first 8 seasons of Red Dwarf and first 10 seasons of Doctor Who. And I was told anything after the first 10 seasons of Doctor Who might not be worth my time.
Oh, you're talking about that's modern Who, not classic Who.
There's a... What do you mean? There's like more than 10 seasons of it, so I'm assuming the first couple of seasons would be referred to as classic Who, and the latter seasons...
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
You really don't know anything about Doctor Who, do you?
I just read my first Spider-Man comic this month. I've read 4 of them now.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
Carrie, all right. So, how? Like, is it like Star Trek where there's like the original series and that's like classic?
It's Kirk, Spock, and McCoy,
right? So you're talking.
The one with the
Kirk
pointy ears is called Spock.
Doctor Who is actually older than Star Trek
by a couple of years. Yes,
by
I was wondering how they only amassed like 10 seasons, because that's not a lot.
Only 10 seasons. How far behind are you? My God!
Who told you that? Who told you that nonsense? Oh, don't tell me. It was Cardinal Sin, wasn't it?
No.
Okay.
Baker was season 17, and that was in the late 70s.
These DVDs
and
you
that
got.
Would be classic Who.
These DVDs you've got. Can you show me them?
Not at the moment. No, they're buried away.
Oh.
Not at the moment.
Well, if you did, I could probably clear things up for you.
You think? That's optimistic,
isn't it?
So, okay, Classic Who, Tom Baker, season 17 in the 70s. So, how many seasons did that series run?
The original run of Doctor Who was from 1963 to 1989.
And I would have watched some of that in Canada on BBC as it was happening, like live each season, each season dropped fresh. Whenever Canada would have received it, I would have. Okay, so I've seen bits and pieces of those episodes as a child growing up.
You probably have, yeah. Okay.
Not entire episodes, but while I was searching for Star Trek, I might have stopped upon it for like 5 minutes and ooh, okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right. Or
while I was searching for the Quebec channels that had boobs.
What can you remember about that?
The quest for boobs.
Do you remember?
I remember the Daleks. I remember the name of the Daleks. I remember the Daleks being something very scary and seemingly invincible for some reason, because they looked like they'd be easy to overcome, but apparently not. And I remember the Doctor seemed to be like, I thought he was a magician, to be honest. Like the guy out of Rufus. Do you remember that was sort of like Rufus with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? You know, the character Rufus played. That's sort of what the Dalek reminded me of.
The Dalek?
The Doctor. Sorry, the Doctor. The Doctor reminded me of Rufus in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. In a way.
Well, I suppose you could look at it in like that in a way.
I mean, maybe they stole it from him.
They had it. I mean, Bill and Ted travel through time in an American telephone booth, and the Doctor travels through time and space in an old 50s police box, which also had a so it could have been ripped off from that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you know what? Spidey, you know what? Do you know what the TARDIS is, right?
Yes. Apparently, it's bigger on the inside.
It is.
That's what she said.
It is. That's the whole. That
is the whole point of the thing.
Point of the TARDIS.
And I've seen the control. Our mutual friend Cardinal Sin does have the model from Eagle Moss of the TARDIS control center panel, which looks honestly like a Cardassian control panel off Star Trek. I'm sorry, it looks the same to me. It looks like a Cardassian control panel.
Cardassian
or Klingon. Doesn't like. Do you see where I'm going with that?
You mean with the coral and all that?
Yeah, and the color scheme as well. The earth tones.
Well, that was like Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant's TARDIS.
I mean, it's not metallic like Starfleet, is it?
Like it's literally, you know, in those runs, the TARDIS inside the TARDIS console room was literally coral. So it was like because one thing about the TARDIS is it's actually alive. So
are there torches inside? There's no torches, I hope.
What torches?
I'm making fun of the new Star Trek because they have fucking torches inside the spaceships.
What?
The filth. I'm making fun of the filth.
Oh, okay.
They have torches inside a fucking Klingon starship. They didn't even use torches in castles, folks. They used candles. What you see in the movies isn't real. They would have asphyxiated themselves. They used candles. Braveheart is not real. They used candles, not torches in castles.
Yeah. Those kind of torches.
They certainly wouldn't use torches in space fucking ships where oxygen you'd think would be precious. You fucktards. Modern Trek.
Torches, eh?
Oh yeah, apparently. I watched like 5 minutes of it and turned the shit off. In the Klingons, yeah, the new Trek. The Discovery. Yeah. See, I get chills up my spine even saying that name. Anyway, you wouldn't have fucking torches in a Klingon spaceship. Oxygen is precious. Even for fucking Klingons. They can't fight without oxygen, as tough as they are.
Well, let me reassure you. There's no torches in the TARDIS.
Okay. I guess that was the original question.
It's completely realistic. I mean, it is bigger on the inside, the outside, and travels through space.
I think with the whole nature of the TARDIS, if there were torches inside in the TARDIS, I don't think it would really matter with the nature of the TARDIS. It's not like, because it's not a conventional spaceship.
It can bend space and time. A torch would be no issue.
I don't think, but like running out of air because of the burning flame, I don't think that would be a problem in the TARDIS.
Well, does the Doctor need air?
Well, yeah, he does.
He does. So he's not
a god. He's not averse to it.
See, I think of him as a god almost.
Well, he's Gallifreyan. Don't go that far.
Obviously ignoring ignoring Timble's crap. Yeah, the Doctor is a Time Lord.
Well, yes, I've heard that many times. That tells me he has some sort of control over time.
He can
that I don't know anything more than that.
The Time Lords had.
Does he have like a ring with a Green Lantern type thing?
No. The Time Lords have this. Well, with their great, they have technology so advanced they can basically reshape the time and space however they want. But
one of the original civilizations.
Basically the Time Lords were you could say they were one of the oldest or the oldest civilization in the universe, because the thing with the Time Lords is they had a policy of non-intervention. So they instead of
the Prime Directive.
You could, I guess you could think of it like that, because what they would,
which constantly got broken repeatedly.
They were sworn to. I mean, David Tennant puts it best. Is that the Time Lords were sworn never to interfere, only to watch. So they just simply stayed on their home planet and observed as the universe grew and developed around them.
And they made a show of over 20 seasons of nothing but watching and not interfering. I don't believe that.
Well, let's just say the non-intervention thing didn't really last.
Pan out. And there's the rub, folks.
It turns, as time went on, it turned out the Time Lords weren't as perfect as the Doctor may have said they were, and in fact they were pretty corrupt as hell.
Worse than the Q?
And, That's a hard comparison. I would probably say
are they comparable at all to the Q? Or is that not something you'd compare?
Well, it's hard. That's a hard one because I think in terms of power, the kind of power they have, maybe they're comparable to the Q, but that's merely I think that's merely through their super H and super advanced technology rather than the powers of the time that the Time Lords themselves had within themselves or anything like that. So that Time Lords. A Time Lord isn't omnipotent like the Q were.
But through technology, they appear as such.
But they appear, but through the technology they possess, the things they can do with that, the manipulation, the way they control time and space,
screwdriver, or whatever.
They basically appear godlike.
You're right. Yeah. Well, see, with technology, I mean, you put a human up against a grizzly bear here in British Columbia, you'd think the bear is going to win. But if you give the British Columbian a 308 Savage rifle, the bear's dead.
Yeah, well.
So technology wins every time.
God made man, Sam Colt made him equal.
Bingo.
Pretty much. You could say the Time Lords were similar, basically the Doctor Who universe's version of the Q, but they're not exact. They're not quite the omnipotent beings that the Q were. I mean, because one major difference between Time Lords and the Q, Time Lords can die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's huge.
Yeah. Potentially, a Time Lord can live forever, but they can still die if they're hurt badly enough.
And is that why we keep getting different doctors?
Well, yeah, because every time a Time Lord is on the verge of death, they go for this whole thing of they go for this process called regeneration, where they basically to stay alive, they completely renew themselves. They get a whole new body, and they're still the same. They're still the same person with the same memories, but their body is different. Their personality might be different.
Like a trill.
Yeah, and I guess you could kind of, and that's why we have all the different that's why there's been so many different versions of the Doctor.
I wonder if that explains James Bond.
Doinks.
No, okay, that makes more sense.
And originally, Time Lords can only regenerate a certain number of times. They were limited with how many regenerations they had. They could live. A Time Lord could essentially live 13 lives. They could regenerate 12 times.
Until Jodie came along and killed them endlessly.
Until
Jodie.
Jodie.
Until
Jodie. Oh, very good.
Until Chimballs came along and fucked up the lore, by saying that they had this the timeless child.
Well, so we'll just ignore that then.
Remember, folks, retcons ain't canon.
Exactly.
It's all about
retcons ain't canon.
This is what look one thing you got to remember about this. One thing we liked about the Doctor is that he was an outcast from his own people. He hated authority, and he wasn't all. I'm sure he may have seen it at times, but he wasn't all powerful. He was just a guy
with a really big sword.
He was just
I'm a loner, Daddy.
He was a guy who just wanders throughout all of time and space in his blue box, and just helping out wherever he can. He's not. He just went traveled around the universe doing good deeds, but that's sad. But that's not the case anymore. We always knew his lives were limited. Yeah, it's like, what's going to happen when he uses up his last regeneration? But now that no longer matters, because he's got infinite regenerations.
Infinite? How ridiculous!
Yeah,
another Chimbal's legacy, I take it.
The Doctor is now immortal and is the most important being in the universe.
That takes the risk out of it right there, doesn't it? That takes the risk element completely out of it. Which separates the icon? What separates the original Doctor Who from modern
canonical verisimilitude, isn't it?
What year? I mean, when did the new Doctor Who start?
2005.
When Star Trek ended. I see.
Oh.
But you think they timed it they timed the return of Doctor Who just in time for
it's just coincidental.
For Star Trek to end.
It's just coincidental.
Yeah, like I said, the original run of Doctor Who ended in 1989, and for over 15 years there was nothing. At least no.
Okay, so you know the pain that the Star Trek franchise has gone through of having decades with nothing.
Well, technically,
like Star Wars.
No. Technically, no, I didn't, because because 1989, I hadn't been born yet, so.
Okay. There you go. I think I was in grade 11.
Yeah, look, you gotta remember, I'm a lot younger than both of you.
That's
true.
I'm fairly.
No argument there. Myself. He's a baby Dalek.
Right. 89. No, that was a good year.
Yeah, again, the show. The reason the show ended in 89 is mostly because, the show was being run into the ground because this guy at the BBC who was like running in charge. I think in charge of the programming there at the time. He hated Doctor Who. He wanted it gone.
Regardless of how profitable it was or was not, or what a legacy. Okay, I see. One of those guys, like the guy that sold the original anthem to Hockey Night in Canada. CBC no longer has the original anthem to Hockey Night in Canada. I understand your pain. Is what that means. So they started up again in 2005. So okay, and it was decent until just this last couple of years.
Well, technically, they did attempt to resurrect it in 1996, but in the mid 90s because there was this I think there was like some network in America like tried to resurrect it, but they made like they made a really bad TV movie. but
yeah, like when the Bionic Woman met the Bionic Man. No, that was a terrible TV movie. Seriously.
Yeah, well,
they did meet, didn't they?
The only the only good thing that this movie added to the Doctor Who lore was the introduction of Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor, which he was. I really liked Paul McGann, but apart from that, the movie's not really worth seeing. It was rubbish.
Didn't add anything to the legacy of the story or anything like that.
Well, they added this. They added in this really stupid plot point that the Doctor was actually half human, but that was completely forgotten about after the movie.
Okay, so irrelevant.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but after that, for a long time, there was nothing. There was just for the next 10 years, there was just nothing of Doctor Who except at least not on TV. At least not on TV. There was
the late 80s. There was no Star Trek. There was no. I don't know if there was Doctor Who in the late 80s. It went till 89, I guess you said.
Yeah, it went to 89. Yeah. Doctor Who ran throughout from the late 60s, throughout the 70s, and throughout the 80s. Yeah.
And there wasn't Star Wars for a very long time. Star Trek. I guess Doctor Who, if you were a fan of both Star Wars, Star Trek and Doctor Who, you'd at least have one or the other at any one time. I guess there was enough of an overlap.
In the 80s, yeah, you would have.
Because as a Star Trek fan, there was not a lot before TNG,
No. Because in the 80s,
conventions.
In the 80s, you had Peter Davis. Admittedly, not you had the Next Generation for Star Trek fans and for Star Trek, and admittedly not. You had not the best era of Doctor Who, with Peter Davison and Sylvester McCoy, but because my God, Sylvester McCoy, he really did got the short end of the stick because his episodes were so cheaply made, and he had to, and I think Sylvester really had to make do with the best that he got, because in fact in 1989 the show just stopped because it was outright cancelled, because and the fact there was actually a lot more planned for the show before it was cancelled. There was this whole big plan of something
like the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. That's never going to happen.
Please,
Ben Kenobi movie.
Yeah. It's probably the one that they're making for years now.
It's debatable whether what could have been and what couldn't, what we got and what could have been after the show was cancelled, because if these plans for the show had gone ahead, I think we'd have had a very different Doctor Who today.
Something preferable, maybe.
Well, basically, they had an origin story for the Doctor, and personally, a lot of fans would say, well, I'm glad they say, thank God they didn't go through with, they didn't get a chance to go through with this, but I think if they'd given us this that origin story over what we did get, I'd be quite happy.
Right. Yeah. Although I don't know if I need an origin story for every one of my
Yeah, it didn't work for Solo, did it?
So
keep
the mystery.
Good point. I'm not sure it worked for Indiana Jones either. You know, if you remember the TV show.
But yeah, but like I was saying, that after the movie, which after the movie came out in 1996, and the movie bombed, and the whole thing with
what? Whoa.
Yeah, it was a disaster, this movie. It failed miserably, and the whole deal to try and make a whole new series of Doctor Who made in America fell apart, thank God. And so nothing else came of that. And then for the next 10 years there was nothing except for maybe books and comics and maybe some audio adventures, but nothing on TV until 2005 when Russell T Davies had the bright idea to bring the show back, and my God, he did a spectacular job of bringing the show back, and that's what led to Doctor Who as we know it today.
Right. Okay. So it was well received from the start, because I know TNG, it wasn't completely accepted by all the fans at first, especially the first season. And the same could be said for Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and it's maybe the Star Trek fans are just more critical. But no, if it was well received, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was well received right from the start.
They were just happy to have it, especially if it was well written. It needs to be well written.
Oh, it was well written, definitely, or at least. Well, you could say a couple of the early episodes were, a couple of them were clunkers, but they weren't. but they weren't obscenely terrible like what we get now.
Oh no! See, we didn't realize what we had back then compared to what we have now. Oh my God! Yeah. Little did we know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll take Robin Williams as Popeye any day. Well, he's got the forearms for it. I'm convinced that's why he got the role, because of the size of his forearms.
If I want to watch Popeye, I'll watch the old cartoons.
Yeah, those were good too.
There you go.
Indeed, and it is quickly approaching 4:20 a.m. here on the west coast of North America. So the sun is starting to come up. So I think I should probably hit the hay, folks. I just wanted to come on and talk about male role models in science fiction, and we did a lovely job of covering it all.
Very, very.
So I'm just gonna pop out and let you guys end the stream. Then, shall we?
How dare you? You finish your own stream for once.
All right.
That was funny last time, wasn't it? Wasn't it, folks?
Yeah.
That was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Right. It is quickly. I can just see the sun starting to come up on the birch trees. So, I might catch that damn deer that ate my pea sprouts off the tops of my plants. I go to bed or get the shotgun. That's a hard choice.
Go to bed with the
shotgun.
This
is why I need a crossbow. See, a shotgun will wake the neighbors, but a crossbow. Deer sausage for breakfast, I'll tell you what. You can go, I swear to God, Dalek, Captain, you can look this up online. You can go to Canadian Tire department store and you can buy a crossbow with no gun license of any sort. And as long as you're like above 16, you can buy a fucking crossbow that'll take down a deer in a heartbeat. Or a mailman, whichever you prefer. Anywho, not that I'm going to do that, or not that I would make sausage out of something I'd kill on my front lawn. Not that I would ever endorse those sorts of things. On that note, folks, it is the sun is coming up. It is 4:17 a.m. on the west coast of North America. Dalek, thank you for joining us. Way the hell over there. Your electric bill must be huge for that kind of distance. Captain Spock, you're even further. You're not far from Tahiti. You're
I am
close
as well.
to Bora Bora, really. I mean, geographically speaking, you're not far from Bora Bora, really.
Tora Bora.
Bora Bora.
Bora Tora.
I Googled Bora Bora once. It looks so amazing. I want to go there. It's $5,000 one way from Canada, from Vancouver. That's nothing else, just the flight. So I won't be doing that anytime soon. I might be getting myself a canoe, though. Anywho, on that note, folks, we're going to say bid you adieu and good night. And it's coming up on 4:20, so prepare yourselves as you will. Enjoy the weekend, and just think back. Role models. Star Trek has wonderful role models. Tonight we were talking about male role models because that's what we know. And I'd say Star Trek is full of good role models. So keep watching the old Star Trek, folks, and Doctor Who. Yeah. I didn't want to push the Doctor Who too much because I haven't seen it yet, but within the month I will.
If there's any,
who not?
Well, let me just say, if you really want to some stuff, I would say a good jumping on point. I mean, I would just say just start right from the beginning with William Hartnell, but if you really want some good classic stuff to start with, start with Tom Baker.
You're not the first person to say that. Right. Okay. And he was the fourth.
There you go.
He was the fourth Doctor. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right, folks. Keep that in mind. And have a good night. We will catch you soon. And all right. Captain Spock, promote yourself.
Check out the channel when I talk about time travel. All right.
He certainly does. Splitting hairs is his thing. And Dalek, please promote yourself.
I do live streams kind of like this. I have a chat with my guests, or I might sometimes review the latest stuff, because a few months ago I reviewed all the episodes of Book of Boba Fett, I actually reviewed once reviewed the greatest Doctor Who story ever, the Genesis of the Daleks. That is if you want classic Doctor Who, there you go.
Okay, Genesis. Whoa.
Genesis of the
Daleks. I was trying to remember earlier. Do you remember I said the big one? That's the one I was told to watch.
Oh, you were told to watch Genesis.
Correct. Yes, sir.
I couldn't recommend Genesis of the Daleks more. I really couldn't.
Okay, so you would maybe agree that maybe that's the first one to watch. Maybe.
If you really want to see classic Who at its best, I would start there. Yeah.
All right. Well, I do. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, heck yeah. And then seasons, the new Doctor Who starting in 2005. When did it turn?
New Who.
The new.
Modern Who or New Who, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the best years of that were with David Tennant. Hands down, no questions asked.
Okay. All right, fair enough. And have you heard what some people in the earlier stream, if you're fans of Doomcock, earlier people were saying, and was it Big Dave K maybe was the person who said it? Could be wrong, but he said it was Obi-Wan Kenobi. He just wasn't impressed with the show apparently so far. So it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He definitely isn't. No.
Yeah, there you go, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, yeah. Take care, folks, and if and when I finally do get to the Genesis of the Daleks this month, I'm hoping to. There's still a few days left in the month. I'll do a review on it, and we'll let you know how it went. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.
A review of Genesis of the Daleks. Yeah, you should definitely do that.
I'd have you both on as guests, because then I would finally know what the fuck I was talking about Doctor Who.
That would be. Oh, I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool. All right, folks. Have a good night.
Nighty night.
Sun's coming up, so make sure you have fun this weekend. I'll see you later.